Finger positioning for solos or melodies. Now you can use obviously different fingers to do different things on your guitar. When you're looking at being able to play in a sort of full comprehensive way, it's a good idea to have a kind of a set pattern that you maybe practice to. And then in the real world of actually playing your guitar, you know, sometimes you have to deviate, just change up the technique a little bit. So it's good to have a set pattern, which I'll show you a good way, I believe, to cover pretty much anything you would want to play. So when you're looking at finger position on your fretboard, you really want to try and use all your fingers on the fretboard of your guitar. Just gives you a lot more versatility. So one way to do this is to have a pattern that allows you to either move up to a particular melody or move down to a particular melody quite freely. So really when you decide to put your finger on the fretboard to start playing, you really need to be thinking, well, which way am I going to be going? Is it going to be going up the way? Is it going to be going down the way? And that should really help your decision making in which finger to choose, which finger to start on. So normally the best finger to start on is usually your first finger. That would be a good sort of base starting point. Go to your first finger and it will usually, most of the times, lead you to where you want to go. For example, say the melody is going up. So you start on your first finger, and then that allows you then to move to your second finger if you're just going up one fret. It'll allow you to move to your third finger if you're going up 2 frets. And then if it goes up 3 frets, you can use your fourth finger. So you get that full stretch of notes once your first finger goes on. So you're not wanting your hand to move around too much. You need quite a good fixed position, and it's really just that reach. So more fingers you can use, the further you can kind of stretch to. So first finger is a good one to start on. Allows you to go up 1 fret, 2 frets, or 3 frets. That's obviously on the same string. Now if the melody was going down the scale, you might want to think about, well, I really don't want to particularly use the first finger, because then I'll have to slide down, and that can sort of catch you out sometimes. You can obviously use that slide effect, and it can be quite a good technique sound for the melody you might be playing. But if you're just trying to make it easy and it doesn't involve a slide, better just to start on the finger that will allow you just to move down the 3 frets or the 2 frets or the 1 fret. So if I was wanting to move, say, the full 3 frets, I would probably start on my 4th finger and then be able to jump to my first finger for that leap. If I was just going to move down 2 frets, then I'd probably start on my 3rd finger, and then that then allows me to move to my first finger. So what you've got is the correct spacing to frets. If I'm just moving down 1 fret, probably just start with my 2nd finger, because I know my first finger's right there. And I can just catch it quite easily. So really what we're looking at here is finger spacing to fret spacing. That's a good place to start. So if there's a stretch of 1 fret, better to have a stretch of 1 finger to the next, the 2 fingers that are together. If there's a stretch of 2 frets, again better to have a stretch of 2 fingers. 3 frets, have that stretch of 3 fingers. That's a kind of a natural stretch. That's more of a natural fingers to frets spacing. That makes more sense to me, to train your fingers up like that and use that as a good guide, a good basis to start. So here's a few examples. So a melody that goes, you can use the first finger, fine. Might want to just slide it. But that would be a variation on maybe the harder way, which is using all the fingers. In my opinion, start with the technique that's going to make your fingers work the hardest, and then everything after that will become a little bit easier. So there's your 3 notes. Start with your 4th finger, go to your 2nd finger, and then go to your 1st finger. So you've got the initial note, you get the finger spacing of 2, taking you to the 2 frets down, and then you've got the correct finger spacing of 1 to go to the next fret down, rather than or. You can see there can be errors that will creep in there if you maybe clutching for the fingers and just grasping for something. Be sort of very regimented about that technique and get it right. So if I just start, like I said, if I'm starting straight off in a melody, normally I'll just play with my 1st finger, it's a good starting point, and then decide if I'm going up 1, 2 or 3 frets. If I'm going back the way, and pretty much it's the same idea, start with your 4th finger if you're going to do a jump of 3 frets. Use your 3rd finger if you're just going to jump down 2 frets. And you can just use your 2nd finger if you're just jumping down 1 fret. So by using that finger spacing to fret spacing, that gives you a pattern. Just a pattern to sort of stick to initially and to kind of form a basis of playing. After that, let's say you can modify it, change it. When I'm playing solos and stuff, I'm always changing that pattern just to flex it a little bit. When you're actually playing something off the cuff and you just want to mess around, it's not always easy just to stick to the same pattern. You feel like it doesn't quite work all the time, but it's a good place to start. And it's really good actually as an exercise for your fingers. I'm going to give you some exercise to try, and this will just help develop that idea, fingers to frets. So the best one to do is just a straight up and back down again, and you can use the open string to do it. So it's open string, 1st fret, 1st finger, 2nd fret, 2nd finger, 3rd fret, 3rd finger, and 4th fret, 4th finger, and then you just reverse it and go back down again. And then what you can do, you can move that around, try it on all the strings. So that's the easiest one to try, and it just, again, it's just moving all your fingers, getting them all moving in that pattern. The next one you can try is a little bit harder, and it just allows you to swivel between each finger that you're choosing. So again, you can try it on an open string. Start it on an open string first. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swivel between the note where I start and the note that I go to. So you get this. You get that effect. And then when you move to your second finger, you do the swivel from your first finger. And then again, keep the second finger down and use the third one to come on and off. And then keep the third finger on and use the fourth one to come on and off. So you're just going to do the same run and you do just a little swivel in between. Try it slow first. So there you go, you've got that little pattern, and what you're getting is the change between coming off and on between each fingers. This one is quite tough if you haven't tried it before, but the muscles you'll use here are really the muscles that you need to get going. So your fingers can feel like they're stuck together and they don't want to move independently. But with that kind of exercise, you're forcing your fingers to move in an independent way. Now that's just in reverse now. So you kind of start off with a swivel from the third to the fourth, and then dropping it down to the second, then down to the first, and then just down to the open. On any string. You'll really feel those muscles in your fingers starting to work, and that's what you need. You know, you're probably never going to play that in a song, but it'll just make your fingers a lot more flexible, and it allows you to do a lot more. You can move between notes better. You can feel that you've got that aptitude to do it, and just makes your hands stronger.